there. This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? In today's ASMR maps video, we are going to be using this book. Haven't used it in a little while. It's the Collins Handy Road Atlas Europe. So it's a small one, and it says the main large-scale mapping at 32 miles to 1 inch. Guide to international road signs. Toll road and motorway service locations include scenic routes. And then they got loads of info here, things like the European Union and Euro currency, route planning maps, legend for road maps, and then city through route maps for Amsterdam, Barcelona, Berlin, etc. It's got this fun information at the start. It's probably like a whole video just there. And this is a distance map and chart. The international road signs. And that takes us on to Wales, where we start. So this is little old Wales, from south to north, west to east. Here in purple is the border, our only land border being with England. Birmingham and the Midlands is here. This is England's second city. We can also see places like West Bromwich, Dudley, Wolverhampton. And in Wales itself you've got the island of Anglesey at the top there. North Wales, including Wrexham, Colwyn Bay, Bangor, and the very beautiful Caernarfon with its castle, Holyhead, or Caergybi in Welsh. I often forget the island of Anglesey's name in English. It's Ynys Môn in Welsh. And then you've got Liverpool, highly populated area, as you can see, the orange, and Manchester there as well. The north is quite sparsely populated. The centre, extremely sparsely populated. Most of the population of Wales lives in the south. I'd say 2/3 concentrated on the southernmost cities of Swansea, Cardiff and Newport. And this is the M4, this blue line. And the M4 goes from just past Swansea all the way to London. That's how I get to London. And the train line sort of follows it as well, actually, past Swindon, Reading, Slough. The very pretty Devon and Cornwall, Plymouth. You have Penzance at the end. In Britain, lots of people do journeys either walking, cycling or by car from Penzance, because it's the southernmost town, I think, in on the island of Great Britain, and they go all the way up to the northernmost Also see Torquay here, Plymouth Torquay, Weston-super-Mare. We got Portsmouth, Bournemouth, Brighton. Brighton, very cool place to go, particularly for Londoners. Margate, Southend-on-Sea, Colchester, Ipswich, Norwich, Peterborough, Milton Keynes, which is sort of a newer city. Oxford is here, obviously very famous for its university, as is Cambridge. When I was learning English at A-level, we talked about the Oxford, Cambridge, London triangle. And this is the sort of English that is the sort of standard for television purposes for reading the news. Although the BBC, I've tried to move away from that, and they have more regional accents nowadays. Particularly, they've had Welsh in the past, Welsh accents. But yeah, that's the sort of standard for I think it's maybe the clearest English. We've got places like where have we got? I used to live near Stevenage, Royston, Luton is in this, Bedford, Milton Keynes, Wickham. But yeah, you've got Hertfordshire, which is quite an affluent county in parts. In this area, Bedfordshire is also quite nice. Milford Keynes, I always forget the counties. That in Northamptonshire? Northampton is there. Or is it a different one? I can't remember. Then Buckinghamshire is around here, because Buckingham Palace is not far away from this area. It's here somewhere, but I'm not sure. Hang on, is that? No. And then you've got obviously the enormous London. Peterborough, Leicester, Nottingham. Nottingham is sort of seen as the north, or the start of the north. There's this big divide in England between north and south, and people from Nottingham, I think, sometimes say they're from the north, but people from the north say that they are not. And Manchester we've spoken about, Sheffield, Rotherham, Doncaster. Interesting, it skips from England to Denmark, and there's Ireland. I'll go back a step. So we've got Ireland here, Dublin. I read recently that like something ridiculous, like 2/3, maybe not that much, can't be, something like that, of the whole of the population of Ireland lives in Dublin, which I can sort of believe. And then you've got Cork and Galway. Galway is very beautiful. Cork I like as well. Where else? Killarney, Trolley, Waterford, Wexford, where you can travel by boat to Wales, as you can with Dublin to Holyhead or Liverpool, or Douglas, apparently, the Isle of Man. Curiously, they decided to put Iceland in with Ireland. It's nowhere near it. Look how far away it is. It's Iceland. Totally out of context. So we've got Reykjavik over here on the west coast. It's another country where I think the vast majority of people live in the capital. And we can see here Belfast, Port town. Giant's Causeway, I visited, it's very beautiful. And this is the west coast of Scotland. See if we can get a look at Scotland. There we are. Oh no, even that one's not that good. I'll finish off the north of England first then. Hopefully you see a bit more Scotland on there. There we are, okay. So we got up to Sheffield, Rotherham, etc. So we got Kingston upon Hull, or just Hull we call it. Leeds, York. Used to be the capital of England hundreds of years ago. Very nice. Still has a bit of the castle wall, or city wall around it. We talked about Manchester, Bolton, Blackburn, Preston. It's the wettest area, I think, of England. Unless this is the Lake District and there's Carlisle there. Newcastle upon Tyne, South Shields, Sunderland, Middlesbrough, Hartlepool, Darlington, Scarborough. This is all Yorkshire. And then you've got the border between England and Scotland. And there is an actual wall still. I mean, it's only like tiny, but I believe it does go across still. And then you've got the Isle of Man over here. Now, until I started this channel a couple of years ago, I didn't realise that the Isle of Man wasn't part of the UK. I always just assumed it was. So it's, I did do a video explaining, and I can't actually remember what it is now. It's a protectorate, much like the Channel Islands. So they have their own parliament and they make their own rules, but I think they are sort of under our care in terms of military, or I'm not quite sure. Douglas is the largest city, town and capital. Yeah, and I think I read somewhere that leaving the EU had no effect because technically the Isle of Man was never in the EU, which I thought was really odd. But if I said anything incorrect and you want to correct me in the comments, you go ahead, because I'm very unsure of that particular information. And then we've got Scotland. Still haven't been, still really want to go. So then, right up from the border down there, there's sort of not a massive population down this area. It's more concentrated up here. We've got the very large cities of Edinburgh, which is the capital of Scotland, and Glasgow, which in fact is the larger of the two cities in Scotland. So growing up I mistakenly thought Glasgow was the capital. That's partially because of my football knowledge, because of Celtic and Rangers. Then you've got Clydebank, Paisley, where else can we see? So you've got the Western Islands, this is the Aran Island over here. I think some people in this area still might speak a little bit of Scots Gaelic. And then you've got, I don't know how it's pronounced, Jura or Jura. They've got quite good whiskey. The eye from this area of the world. The Eye of Islay, Jura, Aran. Just spotted St Andrews, which I think is that where they play the golf? And then Dunfermline there. This area is called the Southern Uplands, apparently. And then the Highlands are up here. It's basically this line going through Scotland. I haven't actually worked out what it is. Lots of lochs which have very deep fresh water. In saying that, I wonder if I can find, there we are, Loch Ness. My dad has actually been. I really want to go. Inverness is here, Aberdeen is there, and think Aberdeen is the northernmost, I want to say city, maybe Inverness is a town. I'm really not that knowledgeable about Scotland though. And then they've got, that's Lewis Island. We've got the Orkney Islands here, which is just off the coast. And then over here, the Shetland Islands, which are far, far, far to the north. So that's the Orkney Islands, and then the Shetlands there. Shetland Islands belonged to Norway at one point, and I read in an article a couple of years ago that there was rumblings about doing a referendum to, I think it was a joke, to rejoin the Kingdom of Norway rather than being the United Kingdom or Scotland. And then these are the Faroe Islands, which are a part of the overseas territory of Denmark, and they are up towards, on the way between Scotland and Iceland. Tórshavn is the capital there. They are, curiously, a lot of the areas, the different islands are linked with underground tunnels, which is quite interesting. Okay, away with you from these islands. Let's go and visit some exotic places. Where more exotic than the Netherlands? Said no Dutch person ever. But I love them. So, the Netherlands, just across the water here. We've got, there's the border. Here's Belgium. Amsterdam is the capital. Then Den Haag is, that's where the parliament is. Haarlem is here. Of course, the link with New York, being that New York used to be New Amsterdam, so the area of Haarlem is named after Haarlem in the Netherlands. Alkmaar is here. I'm a budding Dutch speaker, so I'm going to try and pronounce them properly and not say Haarlem, but say Haarlem. And then we got Utrecht, Leiden, which is, I can attest, is lovely. Zoetermeer, Gouda, like the cheese. I'm dairy-free these days, but I really miss this cheese. I think I used to pronounce it Gouda in English. Gouda. Rotterdam is there. The Europort is there. I've taken a boat from there across to Harwich a couple of times. It was quite a fun journey. In the southern part we got Breda, Tilburg and Dordrecht. And then going more to the north, we've got Leeuwarden, Groningen, Assen, I think that's it. And we've got all these little islands. I think one is called Texel. Yeah, Texel is there. This is the border with Germany. And this place I've said wrong in previous videos. I think it's pronounced Enschede. But I think I pronounced it differently. I'm going to try it again. Enschede, Enschede, Enschede. And Arnhem, Apeldoorn, Amersfoort, Nijmegen, plus the border, there we are, found it. And Eindhoven is just across the pages, quite a large city there. And then you've got Germany over here, very large. We'll try and, I think I've looked at this area on previous videos. It's one of the most, I think it's the most populous area in Europe, if you include, if it sort of circles around here and includes certain parts of the Netherlands, then yeah, it's got all of the really big football teams like Dortmund, Leverkusen, Cologne, Köln, and many, many more. I can't even see. They're so close together. And then you got Frankfurt am Main down here, and Mainz just next to it, literally across the river from one another. And then we got Belgium. So the northern part of Belgium, as we know, is Flemish, which is a dialect of Dutch speaking. The southern part is French, but there is a little German part over here in Aachen, where German is officially the language of that particular, what do I call it, province? Not sure. In Britain we call them counties. Brussels is here in the middle. It's actually technically in the northern part, but it's bidialectal, so not bidialectal, bilingual. So you can use French there. In fact, when I visited, I found French more common than Flemish. And then you've got lots of really pretty places. Bruges, Brugge, Ghent, lovely, Antwerp, and towards the coast, you've got Ostende, Mechelen is here, Maastricht, Genk. I think Genk is quite an industrial city. And then the southern part, Mouscron, Roeselare. Then we've got Mons, Charleroi, Liège, and then it takes us on to northern France with Calais and Dunkirk and Lille. Let's skip a few pages, see where we end up. España. So these are the Pyrenees Mountains that separate a natural border between France in the north and Spain in the south. Nestled up in the mountains is a little country called Andorra. The only country that I know of that's official language is Catalan. Catalan is spoken as a first language to a lot of people in this particular comunidad. We call them counties, but in Spain they're comunidades. So yeah, Barcelona is here. Then you have Mataró, L'Hospitalet, Terrassa, Tarragona, and it continues down where it becomes a different dialect. We call it Valencian as it goes down the coast. They're very, very similar, and it's also spoken on the islands, which are over here in like Ibiza, but it's called Mallorquin there, Mallorca. So it's called Mallorquin, but basically it's more or less the same language. We can see the very beautiful city of Zaragoza here, Lleida, then carrying over to this area here, which is the Basque country. El País Vasco, you got Bilbao or Bilbo, Baracaldi, Donostia or San Sebastián, Vitoria-Gasteiz, Pamplona. So Pamplona is like in the next one over, but the next one over is sort of like half Greater Basque country and half, I can't remember the name of it. Is it? I'm trying to see if I can see it labelled here. No, I can't see it. I should know, really. It's not La Rioja, it's the next one over. And this is northern Spain then. Continuing over, so we've got the Basque country there where we just were, Santander there, Gijón on the coast there. Oviedo, going over to the wettest area in Spain. This is a place called Galicia. Santiago de Compostela is here. I think that's the rainiest city in Spain. I think it rains something incredible, like 200 and something days here. A Coruña, or La Coruña is there. Vigo is there. Orense is there. They also speak a different language here, as well as Castilian Spanish. They speak Gallego, which is like half Spanish, half Portuguese, because Portugal is just here. Because Porto, beautiful city, the second city in the country of Portugal, is there. And if we were to be able to carry on down, we would see the capital of Lisbon, Lisboa. Skip a few pages. Ooh, okay, I know where we are. This is the very tip of Norway, Norge. N for Norway, so this will be Sweden, Sverige. And this is Finland. What's Finland? Suomi. Suomi is the Finnish, I think. Suomea? I can't remember. And then this is actually Russia, Russia. So we can see how the four countries sort of almost touch. So it's Sweden, Switzerland. Sweden doesn't touch Russia, but curiously, even though Norway's all the way over here, it comes over the top, and it does touch Russia. So Norway does have a land border with Russia, and then obviously Finland definitely does. This area of Sweden is not that largely populated, but there are some centres, urban centres, curiously in this area of Norway, such as Tromsø, which they're nestled in these islands. It's very beautiful. And the same, Finland is more, their population centre is greater in the south than in the north. Grab a few pages and see where we end up. Ooh. Okay, we're in Central Europe now. So I can see here we have Poland, Polska, and here is the Czech Republic, Czechia. I've been to Prague once, it was very pretty. And this is smack bang in the centre of Europe, so we've got quite a lot of countries around it. On the same page I can see Dresden and Chemnitz and Cottbus in Germany. I can see so Deutschland, that's the border with the Germany, so Germany comes right around it. And Austria is here. Where's interesting, there's the border. Sorry, this is Austria, not Germany. Germany stops there. Because we have Linz here, which is an Austrian city. Vienna, the capital, beautiful, beautiful capital. So we've got Czech Republic. Plzeň, where Pilsner beer comes from. Liberec. Úst nad Labem, Měst Teplice. Then we have Brno, Hradec Králové, and Olomouc. Lastly, Ostrava, right over here. So another country that Czechia borders on is Slovakia, because when I was a kid, this was one country called Czechoslovakia. But then they had a very peaceful breakup and it became Czechia and a different country, Slovakia. And Slovakian is very, very similar to Czechia, to Czech, but not identical. You can also see Hungary interview, not to be left out of the conversation. And like I said, Poland is here, so we can see Głogów, Legnica, Świdnica. I can't see if that's got a... Is it Świd? Świdnica? I think there's an accent on the S. Jelenia Góra. Wrocław is here. I was reading about Poland on Wikipedia last night, as you do, because I'm currently doing a Football Manager save with Śląsk Wrocław, and I wanted to know where it was located, and apparently this area is called Silesia, and I think they have like a different language there, Silesian, which is another Slavic language, but I've never seen anything about it. I don't know how similar it is to either Czech or Polish or Slovak, but I think it's in that sort of similarity. I think it's closer to those three, for obvious reasons, than to, say, Bulgarian, Serbian or Russian, Ukrainian, Belarusian. So carrying on in Poland, this is Częstochowa, Dąbrowa Górnicza, Katowice, Zabrze, and Kraków. I believe some people, or most people in English, called it Krakow, because it's got the O-N-O-W, excuse me, O-W on the end. But yeah, it's actually got an accent in the O, I believe. There's Kraków, there's a V, Kraków. Kielce is there. What's next? Oh, and now we've just gone south, so let's get our bearings. Vienna is here, so we just saw that. It was right at the bottom of the page in Austria, and I've spoken about this before, how close the capitals are. This is Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. You can also see Nitra and Trnava. It's got quite a good football club in Trnava, I believe. Spartak. And then, so Vienna, Bratislava is two, and then Budapest. Now Budapest is the capital of Hungary, so they're all very close to one another. If you come from a very large country, then you probably find it very difficult to believe that you could get to the capital of another country and another country in just a few hours. Unless you live, maybe, I'm trying to think, was an equivalent outside of Europe is difficult to get. Because even between New York and Ottawa, that would take hours. Ooh, and then there's another one, Zagreb. Zagreb is the capital of HR. Now, if you don't know HR is Croatia. You might be thinking, why is it HR? In Croatian, the country's name is Hrvatska. So that's why Osijek is over here. But we know that Croatia is this long, sort of C-shaped country with a lot of beautiful coast. But Zagreb is inland. And therefore, because we're now in the, I always got to remind myself, Baltics. Baltics is the north. No, I always forget. Baltics, and then so the Baltics are in the north, and these are the Balkans. The Balkans. I got Baltics and Balkans. I always get them mixed up. We can see therefore that we've got Bosnia. Peeking interview with Banja Luka. Just there. Not that that's the capital is further south. And then going back to Hungary, we've got Budapest, Kecskemét, Kecskemét, Debrecen. I'm not very good with the names of Hungarian places. And I think it's Bécs. Just like give it a go. Székesfehérvár, or something that sounds vaguely like that. And if we look to the west, then we've got a little bit of Ukraine peeking into view. This is Romania. We can see Romania. Sorry, Romania. So, what's that place called? I can't read the first letter. Something mare, big. Satu mare, I think, and Oradea. This probably is like the Transylvanian region, so Cluj would probably be over here-ish. And plenty more going on in this area of the map. We've got Serbia. So this is the border with Serbia. That is still Romania. Then here is Serbia. And we actually see the capital, Belgrade, here, just before the page ends. Which means that we should be able to see Novi Sad, which is the largest city of this northern region. I'm going to leave it there for now, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and familiarised yourself with a little bit of European geography and listened to me rambling on in the background, sometimes getting stuff wrong. I appreciate and getting muddled up. Why don't you like the video, leave a comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing, then why don't you join the others? I've had so many since Christmas, has been crazy. Join me on Patreon, and the info for that is below, and joining that gives you an extra video per month of a map video that I never release on the channel. The second video is just a ramble, me talking to camera about how my month has gone, and all the videos on this channel are released a couple of days early, up to a week early. So early access, and lastly you get to help me fund new resources, such as this book and the new mic that I'm using in this video. So thank you so much for all your support. Oh, and you get to chat to me on the chat function as well, if you so please. Okay, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you.